Hey y'all, it's Ricky T and I'm coming to you from my balcony here at the Taylor Plantation in beautiful Beech Grove, Indiana on a gorgeous Sunday evening in September. It's the first Sunday of the NFL. It has been a busy day, but yet a productive day. Just real quick before we get into the video here, into the review here. I went to church this morning to worship the Lord like I always do on Sunday. Came home, made lunch, got dinner ready for later this evening. We had chili, so I went ahead and got that ready early this morning. Watched some football for a good part of the day. And then anybody who knows me knows we've been, for the last couple of months, we've been dealing with a big issue down in our basement. We had a plumbing issue where we had sewer wattage, sewer water, pipe issue. So they had to demo part of the basement out, drywall out, carpet out. We're finally starting to get some repairs started. My buddy who's doing a lot of the work for me was here today doing drywall. We're getting a lot of that done. But the big part of the basement where all of the stuff is, Elle and I had to go down there and try to get as much of that stuff moved, stuff off the walls. All the command strips down. Don't use command strips, by the way. They will mess up your wall big time. So it's going to take longer to fix this and more expensive because wherever there was a command strip, he's having to fix it. So just a word to the wise, command strips, they work, but they kind of work too good because when you take them down, you're going to destroy your wall. You're going to need some drywall repair. Anyway, I told Ellen, I said, I've been doing this stuff down in the basement on and off all day in between games, and the games kind of got a little boring and stuff. We got a lot done. We got a lot accomplished down there. We're ready for tomorrow. He'll be back to finish drywall, I hope, and maybe do some painting. So that's going on. So I said, I'm going to stop and I'm going to do a cigar review, which I am pairing up my cigar tonight with this here. This is Russell Reserve 10 Year. I think you've probably seen me drink this on other videos. It's a fantastic bang for your buck. If you go to somewhere like Meijer, it's going to run $40, $45. But if you're here in the Indianapolis area, Total Wine has it for 31 bucks. That's a steal. So go pick you up some of it and give it a try if you're a bourbon person. But tonight I'm going to do a cigar review, and I'm doing something different. I almost never do infused cigars. They kind of go against the whole reason I do cigars, because cigars, typically, they're just 100% pure tobacco. You've got your filler, you got your binder, you got your wrapper. It's all pure tobacco. No chemicals and crap like that. Like when you smoke a cigarette, there's 250 toxic chemicals. But typically with a premium cigar, it's 100% tobacco and pretty much organic to semi-organic. These countries where they're growing the tobacco, they don't really use pesticides like we do in the United States. So for me, it's really nice to smoke those cigars that are just pure tobacco without any chemicals in them. But tonight I am going to do a flavored cigar. It's been intriguing me for a while. So again, Total Wine, they have a big humidor. My son was there yesterday. I hadn't picked this up for me. This is called the Java Mint. Here we go, look at it. We got that, and it's got the foot right there where it says mint. They've got several different flavors of these Javas. I've been wanting to try the Java Mint. I've probably only had maybe 2 or 3 flavored cigars my whole life. So it's very, very rare that I will smoke one of these. But again, this one intrigued me. So I decided I was gonna try it. So I'm gonna clip this. It clipped real easy, by the way. I'm gonna do some aroma. Pre-lit aroma. Oh, wow. When they call it Java Mint, that's no lie. When you smell this, it smells like an Andes chocolate or kind of like one of those York peppermint patties. You can definitely get the mint big time, and you're also getting a lot of chocolate. It's like chocolate mint. If it tastes anything like it smells on the aroma, this is going to be a very nice cigar. So let's get it started. I tend to light these a little crooked. I always blame it on the fact that I'm left-handed. Normally your first couple of puffs on a cigar when you first light it up are bitter. It's just the way it is. You're just lighting it up, getting it started. On this one I got a lot of sweetness right off of the bat, which makes sense because the sweetness is infused into it. I'm getting an oiliness on my lips and on my tongue, a little bit of that mint, and it's not really giving me a lot of flavor on top of that, but again, I've just taken 2 or 3 puffs. So I'm going to smoke this for a while and see what we get, and I will come back and let you know what's up. All right, y'all, I am back. Here's what we're looking at. I've been puffing on this thing for about 25, 30 minutes. So first of all, before I get into flavor notes and all that other kind of stuff, let's talk about construction. So far, pretty damn near perfect construction. I have flipped the ash a couple of times. I'm getting about an inch or so before I have to flip it. So, construction. You see here, damn good burn. It's not perfect laser, but it's pretty damn tight there. The draw is perfect, not too loose, not too tight, absolutely perfect. When you look at the cigar, it's holding up perfectly. I am, at the beginning I didn't see this. I don't know if these popped out after it heated up, but I'm seeing a little bit of toothiness to it as well. Just here and there, some little bumps have developed. And so for those of you that don't know what toothiness is, these little bumps are just little bumps of the tobacco oil, which is a good thing because that equals flavor. So from a construction perspective, so far pretty damn near perfect. From the perspective of strength, both in strength and flavor, I'm going to call this really pretty mild. Not a lot of strong flavors. It seems like, and it would make perfect sense since this is an infused cigar with the word mint in it, that they probably wanted to use some pretty light tobacco that didn't have a lot of flavor, because if you're going to buy a cigar that says mint on it, you're going to want it to taste mint. And if they had some tobaccos that were very flavorful, it would overtake or override the flavor that you bought the cigar for. So I'm not getting really hardly any flavor at all from the tobacco itself. Pretty much all of the flavor is coming from whatever they use to infuse the cigar. It's been pretty consistent, by the way. Not only am I getting a perfect draw, but you can see tons of smoke. I'm getting crazy smoke output. It's great. So actually, I'm really enjoying this cigar. It's a very, very easy smoke. So if you're looking for something that's just going to be easy, an easy smoke, especially if you're going to be together with some friends and you're just wanting something to smoke that is going to be easy to smoke, that's not going to be super complex, this would be a good one to pick up. But as far as the flavors go, from the infused perspective, it's been pretty consistent with a couple of little pops of flavors here and there. But what I'm consistently getting is at the very front of the palate, I'm consistently getting just a straight up mint. And that's the only way to describe it. Just a straight up mint. And then as you go to the back part of the front of the palate, into the mid palate, and all the way through the back of the palate, I'm getting mostly, except for here and there, I'm mostly getting nothing, really, quite honestly. And then at the very back of the palate and at the beginning of the throat, as as you start to leave the back of the mouth and start to get into the throat, I'm getting what I'm going to call a frosty mint flavor. So have you ever, for example, chewed a chewing gum or a bubble gum that maybe they call it frost or ice mint or something like that? That's what I'm talking about, a frosty mint, almost a wintergreen. It's almost like a peppermint with a little bit of wintergreen kind of a deal. And that's right at the end of the palate as it goes into the throat. And that's the main, very consistent flavor note that I'm getting right at the front, straight up mint. And then at the very end of the palate, going into the throat, that frosty mint flavor. But then from time to time, and it's unpredictable, it's just sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, I'm getting two other flavor notes. I am getting what I'm going to call a cafe au lait flavor note. And what I mean by that is coffee and cream. Like a coffee with cream in it. And then in my mouth, the smoke is very creamy. It's a thicker, creamy type smoke, which is very pleasant, very enjoyable. And then, that's of the two random flavor notes, I'm getting that one more often. And then less often, I'm getting a light chocolate, or I won't even use the word chocolate, like a light cocoa powder. Like you may even have this in your cabinet right now. And I'm sure right when you were growing up, your mom had the tin can of the Hershey's cocoa. That's what I'm talking about. It's not a chocolate candy bar. It's that cocoa powder. From time to time, it's rare, but from time to time I'm getting that. But mainly it's that mint, that straight mint at the front, and then at the very end of the palate, into the throat, I'm getting that frosty peppermint / wintergreen. And that's about it. It's been very smooth. And then after that, you may set your cigar down for a minute or so. My palate is fairly clean. You guys have probably experienced with some cigars, you get that kind of that flavor, kind of that flavor in your mouth, that maybe a bitterness or kind of that, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you smoke cigars, kind of that thing it's in your mouth. None of that. It's clean. Like I could walk away right now and not even have any indication in my mouth that I had been smoking a cigar. So again, so far, and I would say I'm maybe almost halfway done. Really a nice, lighter, easy to smoke cigar. Very nice. And I will probably get one of these again at some point. This would be a very occasional, maybe 2 or 3 times a year diversion from the norm. So that's where we're at. I'm going to continue to smoke it to see if things change. If they do, I'll let you know. If it stays the same, I'll let you know. And if it does stay the same, that's perfect too. It's been a great cigar so far. So that's where we're at. I will keep smoking, and I may come back one last time. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. All right, y'all, I'm back, and we're gonna call it a wrap. We're down to this. It's getting a little bit hot on my fingers, so I'm gonna end it. Before I give you my final second half review, just a little bit more information on the Java series. As I alluded to at the beginning of the video, Java is a collaboration between Drew Estate and Rocky Patel. When I first started seeing these things roll out, I mainly saw them being marketed with the Drew Estate like logo, whatever you want to call it. And it hasn't been until recently, really this year. I'm going to set this down because it's getting hot on my finger. They're starting to put the Rocky Patel logo on the packaging. So 2 really good cigar companies coming together to make what I would consider a really nice cigar. Again, it's a cigar that I have enjoyed all the way through. We do have some changes to report, but I do want to say Just so if you're looking, there are 4 different varieties or 4 different flavors, however you want to say it. You obviously have the mint, which is the one that we're talking about now. They also have the Java Latte. My son likes that one. I've taken a couple of puffs off of that one. My son was over one night with one. He let me take a couple of puffs, and just those couple of puffs, I did like it. It was sweeter than this one. It was very sweet. I will probably get one of those to give a full report on that. They have the Java Maduro, and they have one they call the Java Red. I've not really looked into that one, and just by the name, I really am not sure what it is. But those are the 4 different flavors, if that's what you want to call it. As far as the mint, as you will recall, on that first half, I was getting the straight up mint on the front, and then nothing until the back end, where I got that frosty mint with the occasional cafe au lait, the occasional cocoa powder. That's what was going on. That continued for about half of the second half. So that was going on for about 75% of the smoke. Then I got to change. I got to change both on the infused flavor, and then I started picking up a couple of flavor notes from the actual tobacco itself. So I can't stop smoking it. So on the infused flavor portion of it, it did change. That straight up mint and that frosty mint kind of went away, and it changed to more of what I would describe as a mouthwash mint, which I didn't like that mouthwash mint as much as the other mint flavors, but it still wasn't bad. And then as far as the tobacco goes, I was getting a combination of a nice earth, which is something I do like, and I was also getting a little bit of a woody flavor note, what I would call a sweet cedar. So you get that mint with the occasional creamy coffee and cocoa powder, and then you were starting, like I just said, you were starting to get a little bit of sweet cedar and earth. So I wasn't expecting any changes. I was expecting it to be the same way all the way through. I would have been perfectly happy with that, but it was nice to get a little bit of a different flavor to give it just a little bit of complexity. So overall, which as you can see, I'm still getting a lot of smoke, and I still got a damn good burn. I almost dropped it. So overall, I'm going to say it was a really nice, easy smoke. I got between an hour to an hour 10 out of this. So it was a nice little relaxing time after a fairly busy day. It was nice to have this. And then of course, the Russell Reserve is a freaking fantastic bourbon. So between the two, I really enjoyed the last 60, 70 minutes of smoking and drinking this cigar and this bourbon. So give it a try. It's worth a try. I do want to try the other 3, just to say I've tried them. Maybe one of them I'll really love. And this is one I will get again. I'll get it again, just again for me as a diversion. I'm not big on the infused cigars. My son, who's 21 years old, he's just been smoking for about a year. He's actually progressed quickly, but you know, it's kind of a beginning way to get into cigars, the infused ones. But he likes a lot of the, you know, like the other night he was smoking a Monte Cristo, just a regular good premium cigar. So it's a good cigar. I would say give it a try. And that's it. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope I've helped you. Grab yourself one and give it a try. And until next time, God bless America.